Hello, good evening and welcome to Rushcliffe Borough Council's Cabinet meeting. I just want to remind everybody that the Cabinet meeting is being live streamed on YouTube. Recording the meeting will be available afterwards on the Council's YouTube channel. In addition, under the Openness of Local Government Bodies Regulations 2014, other people may film, record, post on social media or blog, but the use of any such images or sound recordings is not under the control of the council. So if we move to item 1, apologies for absence. I think we're all here. So item 2, any declarations of interest, please, from anybody? None. Thank you. Minutes of the meeting held on the 23rd of June. May I sign those as a true and correct record? All in favour? Thank you. So we move to item 4, which is citizens' questions, and I understand that we don't have any citizens' questions. So we'll move straight to opposition group leaders' questions. And could I invite Councillor Chaplin, please, to come forward to the table? Just make yourself comfortable, and when you are ready, as usual, press the button and put your question. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Jen Walker sends her apologies. She's not able to make it this evening. This is an extensive document and there are lots of questions I could have asked, but as I'm only allowed one, I decided to go for something about the overall direction of the council rather than details. So this report celebrates a £2.682 million revenue surplus, a £4,110,000 million capital underspend, increased reserves and exceeding the council's savings targets. But what it doesn't celebrate is better services for residents. Throughout the report, the emphasis is on efficiencies, savings, reserves and financial resilience. Can the portfolio holder explain why this report gives the impression that the Cabinet's overriding priority is saving money rather than using that strong financial position to improve the services that residents actually rely on?
Thank you very much indeed. Councillor Verdi.
Thank you, Chair, and thank you, Councillor Chaplin, for your question. Councillor Chaplin, I do not accept that the report suggests the council's overriding priority is simply to save money. Rather, it demonstrates that the council continues to manage public money carefully and responsibly so that it can protect and indeed improve the already excellent services that we provide and that residents rely on, both now and actually importantly in the future. So it's not a short-term view, a long-term view. The finance update is obviously by its nature focused on the council's financial position, but it sits alongside regular performance monitoring and scrutiny, not in isolation. Finance and performance are considered together through our officer monitoring executive management team, oversight and quarterly reporting to the corporate overview group, which actually last met on the 16th of June, going through these figures and our performance. And additionally, any particular service performance issues can be covered by specific scrutiny reviews for the relevant scrutiny group. It's important to emphasise, and for me, this is the heart of my response to your question, Councillor Chaplin, that the council does not see financial savings and service quality as competing priorities, anything but. Our responsibility is to deliver high quality services for residents whilst managing public money responsibly and ensuring that the council remains financially sustainable, which it is. In simple terms, without a sustainable financial position, the council would not be able to protect the services residents rely on. These priorities are balanced and also independently supported by audit assurance. So external audit has reviewed the council's value for money arrangements, which looks at how we spend our money and what we give in return to our residents, with no areas of criticism or concern. And internal audit has also given the council the highest possible rating for the 5th year running. To be clear, the efficiencies reported are not about cutting services or reducing quality. Many relate to rephasing of capital projects, prudent financial management. We've had improved treasury returns, some additional grant income, which although it was there, it was minimal. And for example, the Rushcliffe Oaks crematorium is contributing and helping to offset increased costs and reduced income in other service areas because it's performing above budget. So in a difficult financial environment with rising costs, inflationary pressures and funding not keeping pace with demand, the council is rightly proud of its well-managed financial position. And good stewardship means reducing waste. It means reducing duplication and unnecessary costs, not reducing the quality of services, so that resources can be focused where they're needed. That careful management is precisely why this council is not in the position faced by many other councils in having to make decisions about cutting services and reducing services, which we haven't because of financial position. It is also why the council has been able to support residents, including through, for example, our recent council tax freeze, whilst we continue to invest in priority services and facilities. So in conclusion, service quality is not a second priority. The council continues to improve services for residents and businesses, supported by strong performance across a range of areas, which I won't go through now, but they're all in the report. And in conclusion, that the challenge is not choosing between savings and service quality, which your question seems to imply. It's achieving both through efficient, sustainable and well-managed services. And good financial management is what enables the council to continue delivering valued services, invest wisely and to respond to the future challenges in a sustainable way. I hope that answers your question. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much. Councillor Chaplin, do you have a supplementary?
Just give me a minute, make sure it's directly relevant. Yeah, it's very pleasing to hear that you don't feel that there are competing priorities and that service is a priority. But do accept that there are things that money could be spent on in this council now that you've discovered that you've got more than maybe you thought you would, that would improve life for residents. Some examples: many parents in Ruddington would like the path under the A52 to be improved so their children can walk or cycle to school.
Sorry, Councillor Chaplin, can you can't introduce other items? I think we've probably got the gist of what your supplementary is in terms of asking if there are other things. So
I was just going to give some examples, and then my question was going to be, if there are options for spending money, would the council consider maybe holding public meetings, citizens' assemblies, as is done in other areas, to include residents in that decision-making process?
Okay, fine, thanks. Just briefly.
Just very briefly, in terms of your point about spending money, we do spend money. We spend it and we monitor it and we allocate it accordingly on an ongoing real-time basis. So it's not static. It doesn't stand still. We don't not go back to the accounts. We look at demands, pressures, additional requests. An example last year was the disability allowance scheme, where we allocated an additional £200,000 or £300,000. So my answer is we do what you're asking, Councillor Chaplin, in my view, and we do it robustly, we do it effectively, and we get the results as well. So I think that, in short, is my answer. It's not something we're not doing, in other words. With regards to the other areas of your question, I think they're slightly they're a different topic and a different response, which I won't try and give here, Chair, if that's okay.
Okay, fine, thank you. Thanks very much indeed, Councillor Chaplin. Thank you. So let's move on to item 6 and to the substantive item on this agenda, which is the financial outturn for 25/26. And I'm going to turn back to Councillor Verdi, please.
Thank you, Chair. And having just answered Councillor Chaplin's question, a lot of this actually precedes that response. But I'm pleased to present the 25/26 financial outturn position, which represents the final financial report for that year, 25/26. And it's also pleasing to note that the council has published its annual statement of accounts well ahead of the 30th of June deadline, and we're in a minority, I might add, in terms of doing that. In summary, this report is a very positive one, and it demonstrates the overall strength of the financial position, which I referred to in answer to the question earlier, and the continued evidence of prudent, disciplined and forward-looking financial management across the council in what remains a very challenging and uncertain period, particularly with regards to local government funding and obviously LGR. I'll focus on, as I normally do, the capital budget positions together with the revenue and some of the key messages. There's a lot of detail in the report. I'm not going to refer to it all. There's an overall net revenue efficiency of 2.682 million, which is proposed to be earmarked for additional cost pressures and financial challenges as outlined in Appendix A, Table 1. Alongside a capital programme efficiency of 4.011 million, which is in Table 2 and Appendix D and F. And together these provide a strong platform as we move into this period of uncertainty and increasing financial and organisational challenges. The capital position I'd like to re-emphasise is largely due to the reprofiling of projects. It's not money which we've saved and is going to disappear or just sit in the bank. It's rephased projects. I just want to emphasise that, with the majority being carried forward into this year, 26-27. It's particularly positive to note the strength of the Treasury management performance, which I'd like to highlight, because our budget was our additional income from our Treasury activities, which we are doing very well on, added an additional £617,000 worth of returns, mainly due to the high interest rates. And this is supported by the continued good cash flow management and the Council's wider financial resilience, which I keep talking about. The continued delivery of the Transformation and Efficiency Programme, I will mention that because it's extremely encouraging. Councillor Chaplin's question referred to the efficiencies. These have been achieved in excess of what we were expecting by 177,000, close to £1 million overall. And that again goes towards helping provide that resilience and dealing with some of those additional pressures we have. So this again, it demonstrates our ability to deliver efficiencies whilst maintaining, going back to the question, service quality, which is still excellent and very high, and supporting our corporate priorities. The strong operational and financial performance of the Rushcliffe Oaks Crematorium, which I've referred to, and Councillor Brennan obviously has done an excellent job in moving that from the original starting position when it opened, but alongside continued improvements, for example, from Streetwise and other areas, these are all helping and contributing to making the overall financial position what it is today. The Council has taken a proactive approach regarding reserves. I know this keeps cropping up. We have discussed it many times, both at Council and Cabinet, but it is necessary. It provides that future resilience, particularly with LGR. And I'm glad to report that we do have 1.199 million alongside additional provisions being made to support some of the future pressures around LGR and simpler recycling, which is going to demand some more capital funding. We maintain an overall very strong position with the reserves, but I will re-emphasize again, this isn't money which is sitting in the bank doing nothing. It is earmarked. Our reserves are earmarked specifically for a number of different areas, pre-allocated, as well as our, excuse the expression, working capital, which we need to pay our bills on an ongoing basis. However, that will be finite and it will be running out, the reserves level, so we need to be conscious of that. In summary, Chair, I think the report reflects a very positive position on our financial stewardship, and that's a key word, stewardship, and our medium-term planning and organisational discipline, which allows us to continue to deliver those excellent services and remaining financially resilient. The fact that the Council continues to maintain this position also means we have no need for external borrowing, which again reinforces our overall financial performance. We're not going to be complacent. We're going to continue with the hard decisions, and we're going to continue to make the savings. We're going to continue to deliver those efficient services that residents want and demand. But we are in a healthy position, and I'm glad to say that that is going to be a strong platform to move us into the challenging times on the horizon. So with that, Chair, I recommend the report to be supported by Cabinet as per the recommendations contained within it. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed, Councillor Verdi. Seconder, please, Councillor Wheeler.
Yeah, thank you, Chairman. I think a key part, as the Councillor Verdi did mention, but in the report there is the amount of money we had set aside to deal with the recovery realisation, which again wasn't in the medium-term plan strategy. It was never put into any manifesto or told, just had a simple one line in a and the government released that then obviously turned into what we are dealing with now. And that is a huge amount of money that could have been spent on services, and also taken a huge amount of officer time, which again could have been spent on delivering even more service on top of what we already have. So I think that just needs to be recognised, that that decision by government has had a huge impact on residents of Rushcliffe already, and that's even before the announcement is made this week. But there's also, going to the positive stuff here, in terms of, we talked about before, we've invested money as a council and why have we done that. There's some really good success stories you can take out the report. So Rolton Golf Course, we invest in capital money. That over the last 2 years, over £200,000 extra revenue on top of the budget has been brought into this council to invest. The investment we made into our football division, tennis income, that's seen us have a huge increase over our budget in terms of revenues come back to the council. And when there's mention about the capital programme and the underspend, that might be underspend this year, but looking, as you'll see detailed throughout the report, a lot of that is to be paid next year because of delays, a lot that was out of our control. For example, at Two Hill School, we're looking to do some improvements there, but we're waiting for outcome negotiations and the school rebuilding programme that's been delayed there. So I think there's really good success stories out of that programme, and it is showing that we are investing a huge amount of money. It shows we want to invest even more, but we are being hamstrung. Like I said, we talk about LGR and some issues outside our control, but as a council, we are continuing to invest, and residents should be reassured by fantastic services out there. I've been out today with some green flag photo. I've been around some of our parks that we've invested in, to Sharp Hill Woods. We put a huge amount of money in, and we should be proud of that as a council, because I'm sure not every council is like that. Having just been to somewhere out of county today, we're meeting with Councillor Brennan, driving past some of the areas of the parks and open space. I thought, thank God, this isn't like that in Rushcliffe, so we should be really proud of that here. So more than happy to second, Chairman, the report. Thank you.
Thank you very much indeed. Any other questions or comments from anybody? Councillor Upton.
I'd just like to say, in my opinion, we haven't cut any of our services. Indeed, from my perspective, we continue to improve what I believe are already excellent services. And things such as the recent Streetwise Award would be an example, the Green Flag Award for parks, which I think under Councillor Wheeler's portfolio we've got for the first time in Bridgeford Park, West Bridgeford. I mean, I think our bin collection, from personal experience, is excellent, in terms of the service that they provide there. And for my own portfolio, I mean, the home alarm service has just been converted over to digital, and the customer survey, I think, for that the last 7 or 8 years has been incredibly 100% satisfaction from the people that use it. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. So my comments are really to say we provide good service, and we haven't cut any. We're striving to improve what I would think are already excellent service. So a great report, and you need a bit of money in the bank just in case something comes out of the unexpected. And well done.
Thank you very much indeed. Any other comments? You mentioned satisfaction levels, and I was going to make the comments that in answer to the earlier question, we have very generally high customer satisfaction levels across the board on our services, and I think really that tells the story that we do provide excellent services to our residents and businesses, because we're also keen on supporting economic growth, because that helps provide the wealth for the excellent services for the residents. And as we all know, everybody says Rushcliffe is a great place to live and work and play, and it absolutely is. So the efficient running of finances, running a tight ship, yes, but having the resources there available to invest as and when necessary to ensure that we do maintain our excellent services to our residents and businesses. So with that, it was moved, and if there are no other comments, questions, so it was moved and seconded. So all those in favour, please. And that is unanimous. Thank you very much indeed. That's the end of the agenda. So I will declare the meeting closed. Thank you.